So you've been thinking about moving to the Joplin area, and maybe you're just not really quite sure where the best place to actually decide to move to is. Well, in this video, we're going to go over everything you need to know when it comes to moving to the Joplin area so that you can pick that perfect place for you and your family. What's up, guys? My name is Chris Mutri, and I am with the Agent Plus Real Estate Group here in the Joplin, Missouri area. Now, if this is your first time visiting our channel, then go ahead and click that subscribe button along with the bell. That way you're notified whenever we put out videos all about what it's like living in Joplin, Missouri. We drop those videos every single week to where we go over everything that you need to know about living in the Joplin area metro. Now, we are licensed real estate agents here in the Joplin area, and as much as we love making these videos about what it's like to live here, we love even more whenever you guys reach out to us, whether you call us or text us, however you guys want. We absolutely love helping you guys out with your real estate needs. So that number below there, you can call us, text us, you can even email us if you would like. However you guys want to get a hold of us, go ahead and reach out, and we would absolutely love to help you guys make the move here to the Joplin area. Alright, so now with all that being said, let's go ahead and hop into this video about everything you need to know about living in Joplin, Missouri. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull up my computer screen. That way we can really get an in-depth feel of what it's like here. And I'm going to go through on the map, and I'm going to show you exactly certain areas and just kind of how the whole metro is laid out. That way you get a really good feel of what it's like here. So I'm going to pull that up now, and we're going to get started. Alright, so let's go ahead and hop into this map and kind of show you how everything's laid out here. So obviously our center point here is going to be Joplin, and then all these other cities are the cities that kind of make up the Joplin area, you know, these little city suburbs. One thing that I want to show before we dive into the actual Joplin area is I do want to show you kind of where things are located whenever it comes to the bigger cities around us, because I don't think a lot of people actually understand just how close you are to some of these bigger cities. So a big one that a lot of people go to and visit is Kansas City. All right, so as you can see, from Joplin to Kansas City, it's only about 2.5 hours. So it's, you know, it's really well located for if you want to take a day trip up there to go see the Kansas City Chiefs play. If you want to go to the Power and Lights District, which is this kind of bar and kind of, you know, really cool night scene there. You know, I don't think everyone understands just how centrally located Joplin is to some of these bigger metros. So that's a really good thing to keep in mind. You know, we don't have a ton going on in the Joplin area, but we're so close to all of these other great places. The other one that I wanted to show you was Branson, Missouri. Pull it up here. So Branson, Missouri is about 2 hours away. This is a awesome place to take the family to. This is going to have amusement parks such as Silver City, Whitewater, Water Park. It's just, I mean, it's a really cool place to go and take the family to. And once you go there, you can go buy a season pass. It's one of the perfect things for the summertime to take your family to, take the kids, make a day trip or just a weekend trip. And it's perfect for that family kind of getaway that's real quick. It doesn't take a lot of time. But I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's something that I've went to, and me and my family have went to and took advantage of my entire time living here. So it's definitely something that I recommend. The other place that we can look at is a little closer, and that's going to be Springfield, Missouri. So as you can see, Springfield is only about 1 hour and 25 minutes away, and that's quite a bit bigger metro than the Joplin area. And you know, Joplin's just kind of almost like a little suburb to these bigger areas. It kind of seems like, I mean, I know it's a little farther out, but if you come from somewhere where, you know, it takes an hour to hour and a half to get across town, or to, you know, or to some of the smaller suburbs, then that's kind of what Joplin's like to these bigger metros. You know, there in Springfield, you're going to have places such as Bass Pro. That's where they're headquartered at. They have the huge aquarium there that Bass Pro put in. That's an awesome place to go and kind of take the kids to. Another thing that we can look at is, let's pull up Tulsa here. So Tulsa, Oklahoma, you're only about, so the fastest route's about 1 hour and 46 minutes, it looks like. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on there, so you could definitely take advantage of that. And the last one that I want to show you is, we'll just put in Rogers, Arkansas. So you're about an hour and 16 minutes from Northwest Arkansas. Now, if you don't know about Northwest Arkansas, it's one of the most beautiful places you may never have heard about. That's where they're gonna have like Beaver Lake, the Ozark National Forest. They have the amphitheater down there where they have musicians come through. They also, I believe that the amphitheater sets about 10,000 people now. They just renovated it, so they do get some big musicians and artists there. You also have Top Golf, places like that, a really cool outdoor mall. So I don't want to take too much time on this, but I just wanted to kind of show you where it was located to some of these bigger metros. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop into Joplin here though. Let me pull it up. All right, so Joplin. The one thing that I kind of want to show you is just kind of how it's laid out. So if you're not from here, you may not know, the road systems or anything like that. This here is Main Street, and this is 7th Street. So these kind of they intersect almost exactly in the middle of the city of Joplin. So it really neatly breaks it out into kind of 4 sections. And the one thing that you have on Main Street here on, past 7th going south, this is where the downtown scene is. Now, Joplin's not a very walkable area, so a lot of people, they want that walkable feel. We just really don't have that here. The one area that is, though, is going to be that South Main Street area. That's where they're going to have the Third Thursdays, the art walks, kind of the whole just art scene and kind of just that kind of Joplin culture. This is where you're going to see kind of your one-off bars, restaurants, and shops. There's not a lot of living down there. So if you wanted kind of like that loft living, we do have a few lofts down there, but I mean, they're very few. So it's not really something that you can really count on, but it is a really cool place to go and take advantage. Take your kids down there to that Third Thursday. It's just a really good time going north of 7th Street on a Main Street. There is a few more bars and shops down there, but for the most part, everything that's kind of family oriented and that you want to really take advantage of probably is going to be kind of that South Main Street. And then, like I said, this is 7th Street here, and it just kind of cuts through Joplin to where it works really well to split it up. The other main street is going to be Range Line Road, and that's running north and south. And this is where this is where like your North Park Mall is, so your shopping mall. This is where you're gonna have kind of your chain restaurants such as, your fast food, your McDonald's, your Taco Bell, plus kind of some nicer restaurants too, such as your steakhouses. You're also gonna have kind of some more shops there, like your Walmart, your Academy, all of that stuff. And now to hit on that really quick, if you're someone who kind of enjoys Whole Foods and places like that, or kind of your local grocery store, we don't really have that here. Whenever you buy groceries here in the Joplin area, you're definitely buying them for the most part from a Walmart or from an Aldi's or something like that. So we do have a few natural grocery stores, but I think there's only like 2 or 3 in the whole metro, so that's not a big thing here. But just keep that in mind if that's something that you were looking for. We just don't really have that here. But we do have kind of the bigger chain stores to where you can get everything that you're going to need. But that's all going to be located on Range Line Road. That's where your Lowe's, like I said, your Walmart, your Home Depot. And if you go on Range Line to the south, that's where you're going to run into 32nd Street. And 32nd Street is going to be some more retail places, some more shops. Not near as much as Range Line Road. You're going to have a lot more businesses on 32nd Street, but it's just a really good kind of outline of where it runs through. The other thing that we can talk about is the hospitals here. So we have 2 main hospitals here in the Joplin area. And that's going to be Freeman Hospital and Mercy Hospital. Freeman's been here forever. Mercy is about 10 years old now. That's the hospital that replaced St. John's after that big tornado back in 2011. Whenever it wiped out the hospital, they actually didn't rebuild the St. John's, and they put a Mercy. So you have Freeman Hospital, which is over here on 32nd Street going west, and then you have Mercy, which is to the south of it here. It's right here, right off of the highway. So keep that in mind. It's always a good idea to know where your hospitals are. It won't take you long to figure all of that out, but just for reference here. Now to get into more of kind of whenever it comes to where you want to live. I'm not going to go too in depth on that because it's just going to be kind of a layout of the whole Joplin Metro. But if you have a family and you are looking for a family neighborhood, kind of secluded area, I'll show you a few of my favorite here. So Southwest Joplin, in my opinion, is the perfect place to raise a family if you're going to raise a family in the Joplin area. Some of those places are going to be places such as this here in the southwest corner of Joplin. This right here is a little neighborhood called Sunset Ridge. This is a really beautiful area. It's not gated or anything like that. It is kind of more open, but it is going to run you, 400,000 plus probably is going to get you in there. I mean, well, 400,000 will definitely get you in there, but you're not going to, it's going to be really hard to find anything less. You may find something for 350 around there, but for the most part, if you're wanting kind of this area, it's going to be that 400,000 plus range. But these are beautiful homes. I could not recommend enough, and it sits right here on Schiffendecker, which is another main road, but right across the street to the south is actually a place that I really like, and that's called Westbury Square. So Westbury Square is this little square area here, and there's probably only 20 or 30 homes in that entire neighborhood. But it's a very sought after and desirable area. This is kind of like a secluded neighborhood. I mean, to get into this area, you're gonna need probably 600,000 plus, and that's kind of pushing it. I would say to be more comfortable to know that you can find something there, you're going to be 700,000 plus, but it's really hard to get homes there. They don't come up often, and when they do, they sell fast. But this area here, something that a lot of people really like and always point out whenever we show it to them, they have these huge lots. So I would say on average, the average lot there is 2+ acres. I mean, it may only be about 1.5 acres, but they are big lots. But another place where homes do come available often is where Westbury Square kind of backs up to it here. And this area here is what I'm talking about. This is called Arbor Hills. So this is another really secluded area. No one who doesn't live there is really coming through. It's only the people who live there. This is a beautiful area, and this is kind of like that Sunset Ridge area, to where you're going to need 400K plus to get into this area. The good thing about this is homes do come up often here, so you can definitely find something there. It may take a little bit of time, but homes do come up for sale here. This is a really cool place because they have like these little walking trails throughout the neighborhood, kind of hidden back in the woods. They got like a fishing pond down there, as you can see, where they stock it, and then all of the neighborhood can go down there and fish. No one's going to be walking on those trails who doesn't live there. So it's a really cool place, very safe place. I would say the whole Southwest Joplin, in my opinion, is one of the safest areas in Joplin. If you're looking for a little bit cheaper price range, then you could look at something kind of in the Iron Gates area here. This is actually where Twin Hills Golf and Country Club is. These are really good areas. They're going to be a little bit cheaper. You can find something in the Iron Gates, Twin Hills area, anywhere from 125, probably all the way up to probably 600,000 or 700,000. One area that I do have to hit on, because this is one of my favorite areas here in the city of Joplin. This here is called Oakmont Point. This neighborhood is absolutely beautiful. If you're not from here, you're not going to know where this neighborhood is, but it is one of my favorites. I know I've said that about a lot of them, but this one really is. I mean, this is a beautiful area. A lot of people who call us, one thing that they want to make sure that they don't get into is kind of a flat area. This area here is beautiful. It's got a lot of hills, beautiful landscaping. It's just, you have to see it to know what I'm talking about. But this is a gorgeous area that I could not recommend enough to anyone who is wanting that kind of higher end home for the Joplin area. Once again, here is kind of like the other area. It's really going to be hard to find anything under 400K. You may every once in a while, but for the most part, 400,000 plus, then we can find just something here. I would say that the average home sale there is around 550 to 600,000. But those are some really good areas. One of the other areas that I want to talk about when it comes to living and neighborhoods is going to be one that's more centrally located here. So this is Rangeline, like we were talking about, and here's 20th Street. So if you aren't looking to spend that much money, maybe that's just not in the budget, which is totally fine. This area here is one of my favorites whenever it comes to kind of that middle of the road price point. So you can find homes here anywhere from probably 100 to 125,000 all the way up to about, it probably maxes out about 300, 325K. But this is a really good area. There's a lot of families who live here. It's a very safe area for being in the middle of town. So if this was the price point that I was in, then I would have no problem moving my family to this area. It's a very safe feeling area. And also, I mean, it's perfectly located to where you can hop on Range Line here or down 20th to Main Street, or you could hop on Range Line here and take it down to 32nd Street like we were talking about. I mean, it's just a really good area. The one thing about this area though is that this was kind of in the middle of the big tornado that came through here in 2011. So something a lot of people don't think about is that it took out all of the trees. Now they are growing back because it has been 10 years, but I mean, you definitely still know that that's where that tornado came through, to where, you know, there's just not that big of trees there. And if that's something that is important to you, then definitely let us know whenever you reach out to us. And then we can look at areas such as Oakland Park or stuff like that, to where it wasn't affected during the tornado and they're still kind of in that price point, and we can put you in some really good homes there. But now I don't want to talk too much about kind of the neighborhoods. I really just wanted to show you the whole layout of the Joplin Metro. So let's go ahead and start looking at some of these other cities and suburbs that make up the Joplin Metro. So here's Joplin here, and then the first one that we can go over to is going to be Webb City. So Webb City is to the north of Joplin, and this is a really sought after area here. A lot of people really like the Webb City area. One thing that it definitely has going for it is its schools. It's got really good schools, both academically and with their sports. I may be wrong here, but I think it's something like in the last 20 years, they have like 15 or 17 of the state championships for their football team. So if that's something that's important to you, this is definitely a really good sports school as well. So now homes here in Webb City, the average price point in Webb City is $145,000. Of course, they have a lot lower homes and of course a lot more expensive homes. But just to kind of give you an idea of the market there, it's running about $145,000 is the average price point. There's some really beautiful areas here though. And one thing that people may not know is it's actually right next to our airport, the Joplin Regional Airport. It's not a big airport by any means, but it does have daily round trip flights to the Chicago area and the Dallas Fort Smith area. So it's definitely one of those airports that's smaller, but you can hop on there, get on a flight, and get to wherever you need to go to a bigger airport. So that's definitely something that's cool if you didn't know that. Another area that I want to talk about is Carl Junction. Carl Junction is kind of the crown jewel of the Joplin area to a lot of people. A lot of people love the schools there. Schools for academics, also with their sports, they fare pretty well. They have an area, but the main thing that people like here is going to be the Briarbrook area in Carl Junction. So that's where they have the Briarbrook Country Club and golf course. This is a beautiful area. Carl Junction as a whole, once again, is the average price point is right around $145,000. Now Briarbrook, you're probably going to be looking more into that. You can find homes in Briarbrook for around 200K, but for the most part, they're going to be that 400,000 plus. It's a very sought after area here in the Joplin area. But I mean, for families, Carl Junction is a great area. It's very safe. It's kind of, I believe it's got about 12,000 people now is the population. So it's really nice to kind of have that kind of, small town feel, but then also be close to the city of Joplin. Let's actually go ahead and type in and show you just how close that it is here. So if we go Carl Junction. All right, so as you can see, it's only about 15 minutes to the center of Joplin. So you could be at the edge of Joplin in about 10 minutes. It's a really, it's a very good area if you want to kind of have, like I was saying, that smaller town feel, but be so close to all these the bigger cities. So definitely keep that in mind if that sounds like something that you may want to take advantage of. Definitely, if you're a big golfer, I would definitely say that the Carl Junction area is definitely a good place. Then the other area that I want to hit on really quick is going to be Carthage. So I know Carthage looks a little bit farther, but it honestly isn't. Let's pull it up here, show you just how far that it is. All right, so as you can see, Carthage to Joplin is 25 minutes, but keep in mind too, that's to the center of Joplin. You can be from Carthage to Joplin in 15 minutes. I actually grew up in the city of Carthage, and that is definitely a very, I mean, you know, we don't ever deal with traffic here. So these times, I mean, they're gonna be pretty true for everything. You know, that's one thing I do want to hit on really quick is that if you're coming from a bigger city, you know, the one thing we don't deal with here is any kind of traffic. I mean, it's, you know, and whenever I say we don't deal with any traffic, I mean we don't deal with any traffic. The only way that you are going to be in some type of a traffic jam is if there's a big wreck and there's no way to get around it. But I mean, it's just not something that we deal with here. So that's definitely a positive to a lot of people coming from some bigger metros and cities. So a big thing that a lot of people like Carthage for is it's definitely a more historic kind of town. This is, you know, there's going to be a lot of Victorians there on Grand Avenue to where, you know, you can go in there, buy them and fix them up. Some of them are already fixed up, obviously. So if you are into that Victorian type home, Carthage is an amazing place. They also have their Maple Leaf Parade there every single year. That's this huge festival kind of parade thing, and I mean, it's a really good time. It's kind of what the city of Carthage is known for. Another thing that goes on in Carthage is called Marion Days, and that is a Vietnamese kind of holiday or kind of event that they put on there, and it takes Carthage, which is a city of about 15,000 people, and over a week's time, almost 85,000 people come through the city. So if you're from Carthage, you know all about it, and if you move there, it will not take you long. It'll take you one time going through it to know that you stock up on food, you stock up on all of the water, and you do not go down that part on Grand during that week, just because it takes you forever to get through it. So if we do ever have traffic, that's probably the most that we ever see. But with that being said, not knocking it in any way, we go down there almost every single year. They have their type of food and all these other things that you can go down there and try. They're very welcoming to the locals, so it's a really cool thing that I would definitely recommend going and taking a look out and kind of just having that experience. But those are kind of the areas and the kind of smaller cities and suburbs surrounding the Joplin area that a lot of people don't really understand kind of how it's laid out. And of course, there's a bunch more smaller cities. You have Oronogo, you have Dunawig, Duquesne, Airport Drive. But these are kind of the main 4 other cities outside of Joplin. The only other one that I want to hit on really quick is going to be Neosho. And a lot of people don't know where that's located. Let's type it in here really quick. All right, so Neosho to Joplin is about a 30-minute drive. Neosho is a really cool town. It's kind of one of those other smaller towns. The average price point in Neosho is, I believe it's right at about $140,000 this year. It's going to be a place to where you're getting closer to those Ozark Mountains because you are so close to the Arkansas line. Pull it over here. So as you can see with Neosho, here's the Arkansas line, and then there's Bella Vista and Bentonville, and here's Rogers where we were talking about. So, from Neosho to the Rogers area, you're probably only about 50 minutes. So you can definitely take advantage of all of those, the lake there, the conservation areas, and kind of be centrally located between Joplin and Northwest Arkansas. You're definitely still located closer to the Joplin area, but it is something to where it's no big deal to just hop in the car and go down to Arkansas. But yeah, I mean, these are definitely the areas that people who live here definitely know. If you are looking to make that move here, then these are kind of the areas where you're going to be spending all of your time. That's the biggest thing. If you're moving to Joplin, say for work, and you're going to be working in Joplin, do not be afraid to live in Carthage or to live in Carl Junction, Webb City, Neosho even. You know, everyone does it. Webb City, I mean, it touches Joplin. You know, where the city limits of Joplin end, the city limits of Webb City start. So it's definitely an easy commute. Like I said, no traffic at all. In just talking about traffic through Joplin, I mean, you can be on the south side of Joplin and go all the way north to the edge of the city, and I would say, I mean, max 15 minutes, and that's if you know you hit all of the lights. I mean, you know, it's real easy to get around here. Another thing that we can hit on really quick is kind of the interstate and the highway situation here. So here you have 44. Now this is a very, you know, this is where a lot of people travel. Well, obviously, so if you're going to like we were talking, the Springfield or the Branson area, then you're just going to hop on 44 and head east, and you know, it's really easy to get to a highway wherever you're at in this whole metro. You also have 49 here. So these highways just kind of intersect and cross over each other to where no matter where you want to get to, like I was saying, to get over to those bigger metros or anything like that, super easy to get to any highway here. You know, it's just a really well laid out city whenever it comes to any kind of travel. And it's really cool, like I was saying, you can legitimately live anywhere that you want in this metro and work all the way across it. But yeah, I mean, that's about it. I just kind of wanted to make this video and show you exactly kind of how the metro is laid out, kind of what you can expect, you know, where you can live and where you can work. Like I said, you can live in one place and work all the way across this metro. It's super easy to get around to. Also, it's kind of like a little suburb of these bigger metros. The location is something that I don't think a lot of people really know about. And I mean, it's so well centrally located to some of these bigger metros. And with the cost of living here in Joplin, you really can't beat it. So with all that being said, if you guys have any questions or if you guys are thinking about making the move here to the Joplin area, then like I said, we love making these videos for you guys, but what we love even more is whenever you guys call us or text us and let us help you with your real estate needs. So that number should be popping up again. Go ahead, shoot us a text, give us a call. If you would prefer, go ahead and email us, get a hold of us however you would like, because we would absolutely love to help you guys make the move here. And of course, if you are not already, go ahead, click that subscribe button along with that bell. That way you're notified whenever we drop a new video every single week about what it's like to live here in the Joplin area. But until the next time, there should be some more videos popping up here showing you exactly what it's like to live in Joplin, Missouri. So I hope you guys have an amazing day, and we'll see you soon.